Well, all right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll wait just a few moments before we get started, just to make sure everyone's here that wants to be here. All right, we got a big one tonight. We got a lot to talk about, so we'll just dive right into it. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are super excited to talk about the route, talk about some familiar faces of RAGBRAI, and talk logistics to have the best ride ever. We have our ride director, Matt Phippen, here tonight to talk over each gravel route and give everyone a heads up about the 250 loop, because our team did it last Friday. And they have some hot tips for you guys, and they're going to talk about it. So that's exciting. We also have a couple guest speakers with us. We have Val Nels and Zach Coffin from WeCycle to highlight the community bike shop in Ames. We also have Joel from SendMyGear to talk about some logistics of shipping your bike for RAGBRAI, how that looks like, and we're excited to have all three of them on tonight. So welcome. If you weren't able to register when you signed up, just you can scan here and you'll be able to register and ask any questions you'd like. I'll be watching that on our end to make sure we cover any questions at the end. But go ahead and scan that QR code and register. So I'll just give it 1 second here. All right, we can meet the team. Tonight we have our ride director, Matt Phippen. We have Hayden Meister, our event operations manager. We have Carson, that's me. I'm the event operations manager as well. We have Andrea Parrott, our marketing director and the host of Just Go Bike. Corey Much, our creative director. We have Erica Detterman, our registration and merchandise manager, and Aaron Oliphant, who's our customer service and has a lot of tips for doing long bike rides as well. So, AP, why don't you talk us through some familiar faces of RAGBRAI and who that looks like?
All right, I'm excited to get to introduce you to some of our many crew members that join us during the week of RAGBRAI. These are people who take time out of their everyday lives to come and work on RAGBRAI and help you have the best vacation ever, like Carson said. So first, I'm happy to introduce Kaz. That's not his real name, but that's what he goes by on RAGBRAI. Kaz Lindsay is our SAG lead. So if you're in trouble, if you have a mechanical issue, if you have a physical issue and you can no longer ride on RAGBRAI, Kaz and his team run the SAG wagons and they're able to help you get safely to the overnight town. So he's a friendly face for sure. Then speaking of friendly faces, we have John Dale coming up next. John Dale is our meeting town liaison, and that means he's in the meeting town every day, making sure that the vendors are in the place where they should be, where the bike shops are all set up exactly where they're supposed to be, that the porta potties are in working condition, and just everything that might have to happen in a meeting town happens. And he has this role because the RAGBRAI staff is in a million different places, and we need someone we can trust in this role, and that's John Dale. He's been with RAGBRAI for many years. So you may recognize John if you have been on RAGBRAI for a long time. Then next up is Carol Mollendorf. Speaking of people who've been on RAGBRAI for a long time, Carol has ridden, oh, she will not admit this to your face, but it is over 40, maybe even more than 45 RAGBRAIs that she has ridden. And now she's retired as a cyclist and she helps us during the week. She still wanted to be a part of RAGBRAI, of course. So she is our hospital runner. So you probably don't want to see Carol unless you happen to see her at Casey's. but she will help you if you are in a hospital after hurting yourself on RAGBRAI somehow, either in a crash or other injury. She'll come pick you up and make sure that you can get back to your luggage and to your team once you get discharged from the hospital. So that's Carol. Then this is my team right here, the social media crew, and our job is to document RAGBRAI and create FOMO for all your friends and family who are unable to come on RAGBRAI this year. So basically take pictures, do social media, anything like that. First up is Brian Powers. We are so lucky to have Brian Powers. He's a photography professor in Georgia, but he comes back up to Iowa. He is originally, well, not originally from Iowa, but he has lived in Iowa for a long time in the past, and I met him at the Des Moines Register, and we poached him from the Des Moines Register photo team to come and work for us during the summertime. We love Brian. He's an ace at the drone. So the other thing about Brian that you need to know is that he's always on a bicycle during RAGBRAI. Do not tease him for being on an e-bike. E-bikes are completely valid, and this guy covers about 2 times the mileage of any other cyclist on RAGBRAI, so he really needs the extra juice. Then next up is Kathy Murphy. She is also a cyclist on RAGBRAI. She rides a regular bicycle, no extra boost. Her extra boost is caffeine, so but she rides a little bit more directly than Brian does, so she doesn't need the extra boost. But she's also my Just Go Bike podcast co-host. We do a great podcast called Just Go Bike. If you are interested in podcasts, I'd give it a listen. It's all about the fun side of cycling. Kathy also accompanies me as leader in the Zwift rides that RAGBRAI does each and every week as we lead up to RAGBRAI. So you may have seen her there as well. Also, if she asks you to pose for your picture, put out your good side because it's going straight to social media. Then last but not least is Kim Sharp-Leba. Kim, we originally met at Ride the Rockies when she was their amazing photographer. And through the years, we've brought her onto RAGBRAI as well. And we're so happy to have her with us on the team. As it says there, she's a photographer and a videographer. So when you watch all the RAGBRAI recap videos at the very end of the ride, the longer videos, that's Kim. So she really does an amazing job of capturing the personality of RAGBRAI and the friendly faces and like all the cool close-up shots of RAGBRAI. It's interesting if you start to look at the different photos that RAGBRAI publishes, you can kind of tell who took what picture because their personality is really shining through. I'm super proud to have this team on RAGBRAI. And I think that's it for the introductions.
Thank you, AP. That was great. We love to see familiar faces on the ride. Now we're going to introduce Val and Zach with WeCycle from Ames. We appreciate them for coming and trying to show support as one of our RAGBRAI Gives recipients. And we're super excited to be more than halfway through our goal at this time. And we couldn't do it without you riders. So we appreciate it so much. And we're excited to hear from them and learn about another bike shop. So go ahead and take it away, Val and Nick.
Everyone. My name is Val, and I am the founder and CEO of WeCycle. Joining me today is Zach, a longtime volunteer who has been an important part of our work. First, I'd like to sincerely thank the RAGBRAI committee for selecting WeCycle as one of 6 community bike shops to sponsor through the RAGBRAI Gives campaign. We're truly honored, and thank you as well for inviting us to share our story at today's town hall. Next slide, please. As far back as I can remember, I wanted to make a meaningful impact in the lives of people experiencing homelessness. About 15 years ago, while doing street outreach with a Des Moines nonprofit, we met a military veteran who shared that he walked everywhere he needed to go, including to his medical appointments, clear out at the VA, wearing holes through his shoes and really just wearing himself out. And at the time, I had an old department store bike sitting unused in my garage, so I offered it to him. And the following week, we met downtown and I handed it off to him. And he was incredibly grateful. And I still remember watching him ride away on that simple bike with the biggest smile on his face. And I realized how something many of us take for granted can completely change someone's day-to-day life experience. And that moment stayed with me and eventually became the foundation for WeCycle. Next slide, please. WeCycle was founded in 2015 to help people in Ames and Story County access reliable transportation during difficult times in their lives. We've seen how transportation insecurity can create cascading challenges. Without dependable transportation, it becomes harder to get or keep a job, attend appointments, access essential services, stay connected to community, and maintain overall stability. WeCycle is a volunteer-led 501c3 organization that redistributes donated and refurbished bicycles as a transportation option to individuals experiencing homelessness or housing instability. In the early years, we operated out of borrowed spaces, storage units, and even my backyard, doing whatever it took to keep bikes moving into the hands of people who needed them. We want to recognize the Bridge Home, formerly the Emergency Residence Project, and specifically former CEO Vic Moss, whose support helps give WeCycle an early place to serve the community. Our earliest bike repairs were completed on the kids' bikes at the Bridge Home, and that support made a real difference during our formative years. We were also fortunate to receive guidance and encouragement from the Street Collective, so shout out, who became an early source of bike repair knowledge, parts, and friendship. Over time, with help from many community partners and volunteers, WeCycle has gradually grown into a permanent community resource. Next slide, please. Today, WeCycle operates out of a shared art space within a vibrant nonprofit hub known as Reliable Street here in Ames. It's a unique shared community space that also supports local arts, music, skateboarding, mutual aid efforts, community events, and other grassroots programs that help bring people together and enrich the Ames community. One thing that's especially important to us at WeCycle is treating people with dignity and removing unnecessary barriers to getting help. Transportation insecurity and homelessness can affect anyone, and we try to make access to our services as simple, welcoming, and respectful as possible. We also work closely with nonprofit partners throughout Ames and Story County who refer individuals in need of reliable transportation. And whenever we provide a bicycle, we also provide a lock, lights, and a helmet because safety and security matter just as much as mobility. Over the years, the impact has continued to grow. Next slide, please. In 2016, we distributed around 20 youth and adult bicycles. And jump forward to 2025, we distributed more than 100 adult bicycles to individuals experiencing homelessness or transportation insecurity. Additionally, we've also partnered with organizations including the Overflow Thrift Store, the Boys and Girls Club, Habitat for Humanity, and the Ames Mosque to provide bicycles for youth and families in our community. From 2017 to 2019, we partnered with Youth and Shelter Services on a Youth Earn a Bike program where young people learned bike maintenance, rider safety, and teamwork while earning a bicycle of their own. And since 2017, we've partnered with Iowa State University's Research Experiences for Undergrads program. And every summer, students from around the country and around the world come to Ames for research opportunities, and WeCycle provides loaner bikes so that they can access campus and explore the community. Many of those students later volunteer with us in return. In 2025 alone, we loaned out 31 bicycles through that program, and that number is slated to increase in the near future. We're excited about that. Next slide, please. And more recently, we began partnering with the Ames Repair Cafe at the Ames Public Library, where volunteers help community members repair everyday items free of charge. Through that collaboration, WeCycle repaired 48 bicycles in 2025, and we've already completed 25 repairs so far in 2026. Year after year, we continue to see how transformative something as simple as a bicycle can be. We've seen people use these bikes to get to work, make medical appointments, connect with community resources, and regain a sense of independence and empowerment. And through all of it, the Ames and surrounding communities have continued to show up with incredible generosity through donated bicycles, volunteer time, financial support, and encouragement for our mission. Next slide, please. So I have a favorite success story. This is Dave. Dave was homeless due to a number of circumstances and came to us looking for a bike for transportation to help him address his many barriers to housing, and such as the loss of his ID. And for personal reasons, walking all day wasn't a viable option for Dave. So Dave discussed his situation and needs with us, and we found the perfect bike and trailer for him. With a reliable bicycle, Dave frequently be seen riding around town with all of his belongings strapped to his bicycle and trailer, keeping his appointments and meeting his day-to-day needs. And he's since become housed, securely housed. And he still has the bike pictured right there. And now when he rides it, it's for fun and leisure. And so we're excited for Dave's success. And at this point, I'd like to briefly hand things over to Zach.
Yeah, thanks, Val. I'm upstairs here at the shop, so there's some people skating, so maybe you'll be able to hear them in the background. Yeah, so one of the exciting things about where WeCycle is today is that we already have such a strong community and community support in terms of donated bikes and materials. What we're working towards now is building the capacity to do more with them. Right now, much of our work is limited to the riding season because our space is uninsulated, not fully equipped for year-round use. We operate out of the upper level of a former grain elevator, and the space still needs major insulation, electrical upgrades, and roof fixing and stuff like that. That's why we're so grateful to be included in the RAGBRAI Gives campaign. Our goal is to raise $20,000 to improve, like I said, the installation, the electrical infrastructure to the shop space where I'm at right now. Support through this effort would help us create a safer, more functional year-round space. It would allow us to expand our programming and serve more people consistently, and potentially bring back the programs like Val mentioned, the Youth Earn a Bike program. Just as important, the funding though is community involvement. There's so many ways for people to be a part of WeCycle. We've got volunteers repairing bikes, coordinating with partner organizations, helping connect recipients with available bikes, organizing deliveries, supporting events, or simply just spending time in the shop and being part of our community. Whether someone is an experienced mechanic or has never worked on a bike before, we welcome anyone willing to volunteer their time and skills and energy towards something positive here in Ames. It's incredibly rewarding work because you can directly see the impact reliable transportation can have in someone's life. Yeah, it's amazing. Back to you, Val.
All right, thank you, Zach. So yeah, thanks again to the RAGBRAI community for the opportunity to share our work with you guys. We look forward to seeing you out on RAGBRAI this year. And if you need to reach out. You can reach out to us on Facebook Messenger or use the email located there, and somebody will get back to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, WeCycle. We are happy to have you guys as part of our Gives this year, and we appreciate you coming on tonight. If you want to donate to the RAGBRAI Gives, you can also do so on our website or when you go through the registration process. We're always really excited, obviously, to have these partners and make a difference in these communities. And obviously, this one hits close to home for us. So we are happy to have them here, but we are going to go ahead and move on to some registration updates. So Erica, could you give us a few registration updates?
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to share some registration information. This year is a little bit different because it is the first year ever that we are not doing a hard close on registration. We're doing something where if you register between now to the end of the month, and anybody who registered before that is guaranteed packet mailing. Anybody who registers on June 1st or after will have to come visit Aaron and the rest of our customer service team in Ottawa and pick up your packets on the ride. So registration will still be open for week-long riders and week-long non-riders online June 1st until the ride. Anybody who's interested in purchasing a day pass will have to register when they arrive on the ride. So if you know you're going to ride a couple of days here or there, I encourage you to register before May 31st to make sure that we can get that mailed to you in a timely manner. Anybody who registers after that June 1st deadline will have to come and register for day passes on the ride. Something else to kind of point out here is that June 1st is the first day we will not be offering any refunds. So you have until May 31st if something has popped up and you're unable to join us on the ride to ask for a refund. All of those email requests must be made by May 31st. We do not allow any exceptions to the policy. The only thing that has a different refund policy is the Emotive Protection Plan, which you do have to qualify for. You can find more information about that by emailing us at info@ragbrai.com. And then the other important registration item of note is if you have moved any time in the last couple of weeks, couple of months since you've registered and need to update that address, we are strongly encouraging everyone to go in, double check their address in Emotive and update that before June 1st, since we will start packet mailing here in the next couple of weeks. All of your wristband numbers will be assigned at that time. And I think I'm going to kick it over to Aaron for transfers.
Hey guys, so if you haven't already heard, wristband transfers are back this year, meaning that if you can no longer go on the ride, we are offering the option again starting June 1st to transfer your registration to another individual. We initially took it away last year due to people getting scammed. So what was happening is there wasn't a way for the money to be exchanged through our registration platform. So there were bots posting on Facebook and people were Venmoing people who were never even registered for RAGBRAI in the first place. So what we figured out with Emotive, our registration platform, is a way where what happens now is the original registrant will send a transfer link to the new registrant. The new registrant will then go through the entire registration process, pay what the original registrant paid, and then be registered. And the original registrant will be refunded from the registration platform Emotive, also known as us, within 7 to 10 days. So that will help eliminate people getting scammed. To find people to transfer to, there's a great Facebook page. It is not run by us, where our staff is not affiliated with it at all. But there is an unofficial RAGBRAI 53 Facebook page that a lot of times you can find people to buy your registration from you. And then if you do have any concerns at all that you are being scammed, please always feel free to message me at aaron@ragbrai.com and I can double check for you that that person is registered. They should not be asking you to Venmo them anything on the side. Everything should be done through Emotive to avoid that risk. I think I will be turning it over to Matt now for route updates.
Hello, everyone. We are excited to release the gravel options and the loop options for RAGBRAI 2026. So we'll just dive right in and hit day one. So day one, Ottawa to Harlan, 67.4 miles, 4,413 feet of climb. I'll say that one more time, 4,413 feet of climb. So this first day of gravel has the most climb for the entire week. We have, over the course of a week, gravel sectors. There are 12 of them. Back in the day, we had one gravel option for you, which basically showed one area of gravel in the state of Iowa. As you know, in my opinion, and a lot of opinions of others, Iowa gravel is the best in the nation, so we want to be able to show you how it changes from one side of the state to the other. So we will give you options every single day to ride some gravel. Keep in mind, I said optional or options. You don't have to ride the gravel. Most of the gravel options will leave with a right-hand turn. Some will go straight off the road as the road bends around, but you'll never be crossing the route to leave the paved road to hit gravel. So the first gravel sector will be in Monona County. It will start at mile 11.3. It's 4.5 miles long, 501 feet of climb with a max grade of 5.6%. Out of all the sectors, this has the most feet of climb in that 4.5 miles. Gravel sector 2 will be in Shelby County. It starts at mile 27.8. It's a very, very short section. It's kind of in and out. It's less than a mile. 1.2% max grade and 13% or 13 feet of climb. So not much going on there. Gravel sector 3, Shelby County again, starts at mile 40.9, 5.3 miles in length, 451 feet of climb with a max grade of 3.8%. The first gravel sector will show you guys a level B road. For those that don't know what level Bs are, they are roads that farmers use to get in and out of their crops and their fields. If, though, it rains that day, we will make sure that route is closed because it will be a muddy mess. I rode it in the truck earlier this week. It's beautiful. It just got graded off. It feels like a roller coaster. There's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. But if you want to experience a day of level Bs, this is the sector for you. Let's move on to day 2. Day 2, Harlan to Guthrie Center, 60.9 miles, 3,772 feet of climb. Sector 4 takes us in Shelby County again. It will start at mile 6.8. It's 3.5 miles in length, a max grade of 5.2%, and elevation of 225 feet. Gravel sector 5 is in Guthrie County. It starts at mile 50, 7.5 miles in length, 473 feet of climb with a max grade of 6.5%. This is the longest sector of gravel, with 7.5 being the mileage, and this has the most elevation at 6.5 max. So there are some big ups and some big downs. So what I recommend there is you being an experienced gravel rider, because some of the drops are pretty intense. Let's move on to day 3. Day 3 takes us Guthrie Center to Boone, 65 miles, 2,000 feet of climb. Guthrie County is our sector 6, starts at mile 5.1, 6.5 miles in length, 433 feet of climb, and a max grade of 4.7%. Gravel sector 7 is in Boone County. Starts at mile 39.3. It's 1.2 miles in length, 52 feet of climb, and a max grade of 2.7%. And we'll end one more in Boone County. Starts at mile 42, 6.1 miles, 164 feet of climb with a max grade of 2%. Day 4. Day 4 will be in Marshall County for sector 9. Starts at mile 52.9, so it's towards the end of the day. 6.5 miles in length, 184 feet of climb with a max grade of 2.1%. Day 5. Day 5 has a lot going on, gravel just being one of the options. So we will be in Grundy County for sector 10. Starts at mile 42.1, 7.1 miles in length, 268 feet of climb, and a max grade of 2.1%. So this day is the longer day, 89.1 miles with an elevation of 2,637 feet of climb. Day 6. Day 6 takes us from Independence to Dyersville, 43.2 miles, 1,486 feet of climb. We will be in Delaware County for sector 11. Starts at mile 35. It's 7 miles in length, 268 feet per of climb with a max grade of 2%. So a pretty flat, easy 7 miles for you guys. And last but not least, day 7. Day 7, Dyersville to Dubuque, 34.1 miles, 1,729 feet of climb we will be in Dubuque County for the last sector. It will start at mile 6, so right outside of the Field of Dreams, 2.8 miles, 170 feet of climb with a max grade of 3.6%. So when you look at the entire week, 58 miles of gravel, over 3,200 feet of climb. There's level B, stick gravel, hard pack, and sand. And you're going to be in 8 out of 13 counties on route. So we look forward to having you on the gravel option. Just keep in mind, gravel is not supported by RAGBRAI, so you're not going to have vendors out on the roads. You will see a motorcycle hovering the routes going back and forth. There are no sag options. So if you're riding gravel, you truly have to make sure that you're equipped to handle all the ups and downs and twists and turns, because RAGBRAI will not be out there to bring you into town if you need help. Let's move on to the loops. All right, so for those riders that want more, we are going to give you more on day 5. Day 5, Marshalltown to Independence. The normal route is 87.1 miles, 2,500 feet of climb, but we add in a Century Loop to get you over 104 miles. So the Century Loop is 104.3 miles, 392 feet of climb. The loop starts at mile 79, which is basically by Jessup. So if you get to Jessup and you're just not feeling it, you have 7.8 miles into Independence. But if you're feeling good, there will be a 24.7 mile loop that you will be able to do that will loop you back into Jessup, so you can refuel to do that last 7.8 miles into Independence. So great end of the day. Like I said, though, if you get into Jessup and you're just not feeling like you got the legs for it, pass up the loop and head into Independence. But if you're feeling good, knock out the loop and you'll be good to go. Let's move on to the big loop, the double loop. So after we announced the route, I received a lot of phone calls and emails from riders saying you have to do a 250-mile day. And I about fell out of my chair, because 250 miles in one day is a lot. If you look at a rider averaging 10 miles an hour, it will take them more than a day to finish that. So we knew that that wasn't a possibility. But after looking at the maps and the routes, we found an option that will make sense for those that want the big challenge. So we are doing a 250-kilometer day to celebrate America, which is 159 miles when it's all said and done. That will be a double loop in and around Jessup. So as the team said earlier, last Friday, Corey and myself, Scott Olson and Scott Sumter with Bike Iowa, along with Hayden, he was our support vehicle. We left my house at 3:30 in the morning in Vinton, drove to Marshalltown, took a picture at 5:03 in the morning, and we were on bikes. So we were able to knock out the entire loop. It is, the loop takes place at the end of the day. It is a loop that is, when you get to Jessup, you're only halfway done. So you will have to have a plan. Each loop is 36.5 miles and almost 1,200 feet of climb. So it really is no joke. That'll give you about 73 miles when it's all said and done. But like I said, once you get to Jessup, you are halfway. We left Marshalltown, like I said, at 5:04 in the morning. We were able to get to Green Mountain at 5:45 in the morning, take a picture and kind of refuel. Made it to Beeman at 6:25 in the morning. Same thing, refuel and a picture. Grundy Center at 7:15 in the morning. Refuel, picture. Morrison by 7:40. Rhinebeck, which is the meeting town for the day. We were there at 8 o'clock in the morning. We stayed a little bit longer in Rhinebeck to kind of relax a little bit. The long stretch from Rhinebeck to Washburn is about 24 miles. We were in at Washburn by 9:35 in the morning, hit Gilbert at 9:50, and made it to Jessup at 10:35 in the morning. We were able to have lunch in Jessup, relax just a little bit before we hit the big loop. The loop took us 2.5 hours both times to knock out, and we were able to get into Independence by 5:20. Took a picture at 5:30. We were all loaded up and back in Vinton after 6 o'clock. So it was a beautiful day on a bicycle. For more than half the day, Corey and myself were thermaled up head to toe with gloves because it was chilly. I think the morning was 38 degrees when we left Marshalltown. Obviously in July, it will not be 38 degrees in the morning, which would be really, really nice. I think we started stripping layers off after Jessup for the most part. And Corey, you can chime in if you have some more thoughts on this. But we were able to have a good plan. Nutrition is the key to the day. I think I took 12 water bottles. I drank all 12 water bottles when it was all said and done. But this is not just I'll show up in Jessup and then see if I can knock out another almost 80 miles. This is I'm leaving early in the morning on this day to get this. So it is attainable. You're going to need to average, over 15 miles an hour to kind of get in by all the time cuts. We are going to open the route at 5 a.m. that morning. The one stipulation is if you're choosing to leave early, you absolutely have to leave town with front and rear lights. We have so many riders that leave early that have no lights on their bikes and it's just too dangerous. And we're going to keep the route open an extra hour after we normally close, which is 6 o'clock. So with this loop, like I said, it is a double loop. You will do the loop twice, but it is no joke. It's definitely a challenging loop towards the end. We had winds for the most part that were favorable, but it was also, I think the high was in the 70s when it was all said and done. You add another 20 to 30 degrees on top of that, it's going to be brutal. So it's going to be cool when it's all said and done. Corey created a challenge coin that you will receive along with the patch for doing the century. So it will be a big milestone. We will open registration for this. And from a registration standpoint, it doesn't cost you anything. We just want to know kind of who we're expecting. There will be a check-in point and multiple check-in points along the way to make sure that you knock out the miles. But as we get more closer to this, we'll release more information on that. Corey, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think you pretty much nailed on everything on it. These guys are all gonna laugh because they know me. I'm one that usually leaves my water bottle full in my water bottle cage, and I just don't pay attention to it. I'm terrible at it, and I suffer. And that was my biggest fear coming into this was that I knew it was going to be a long day in the saddle for one thing. So your behind needs to be ready for it for one thing, because otherwise you're going to be sore all week long. So that's a big part of it. I don't have a whole lot of miles in this year, so I was like dreading that and my nutrition. So I really went hard on my nutrition. I got with Erin. She put together a plan for me and I stuck to it. I don't usually do that. Every 40 miles I had 2 bottles full. I had carbs in one bottle and I had hydration in the other bottle. And every 40 miles I drank through both of those bottles, refilled them, and I stuck to it the whole entire time. And I tell you what, I felt like $1,000,000 when I was done. I mean, I rode 160 miles and my legs didn't hurt. And that's pretty wild. I'm not saying that's going to be the same experience for everybody, but I'm saying if you have the ability to keep your nutrition up and keep yourself hydrated, keep yourself fueled with food. I was eating, not only that, I was eating bananas. I was eating applesauce. I had food in me all the time. And that goes for the whole entire week. I mean, we got lucky. We had some nice favorable winds. For the most part, we did have a little headwind on the tail end of that loop both times. So we got hit with not a tailwind, but a headwind on that back of that loop. So that drug us down a little bit. But be prepared for it. Don't just think it's something that you can just go and wing it and decide at the end of the day that you can do it, because you can't. You have to be prepared for it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's no joke. We were blessed with cool weather all day. So, we weren't getting overheated. But like I said, if you add 20 to 30 extra degrees that day and then mix in headwinds, it will be a brutal day. It will be a major accomplishment if you can knock it out and get the challenge coin. We'll make sure we get that to you that day. But at the end of it, like Corey nailed it, it's truly nutrition and making sure you're putting tons of calories into your body. I think I was over 4,000 calories burned that day, and Corey was probably in the same boat. And we were just dumping as much into our bodies as we could. We were on a mission all day. We didn't spend a lot of time standing around. We took a picture in every town and we moved on down the road. We use each other as wind blocks, so we kind of saved each other along the way. We rotated out. But as we get closer, we'll share more information. We'll share some Strava stuff so you can kind of see how we did throughout the day through the blogs that AP and the team will do. But like I said, it's definitely going to be you need to make sure that you have a plan that day, and it's not just waking up at 5 in the morning and going, I think I could do this, and trying to figure it out. It's making sure you can do it, because that 40 plus mile loop, when it's all said and done, there's not going to be food on that back side. So you need to make sure you can do the loop and be able to get back into Jessup to refuel. So like I said, it will be a double loop. It'll get you into Jessup both those times. So you'll be in Jessup roughly about 3 times as you kind of rip through. But like I said, if you're not feeling it when you're in Jessup, you only have 7.8 miles and you can make it into Independence. So if you have questions, please reach out to info@ragbrai.com. We'll answer those along the way, but we will keep dropping more information about this all the way up through the ride. Thanks, guys.
I will say one thing before we move on. I have the next slide, but I will say one thing. Matt did say that, and we worked off of each other a lot during the day. We didn't draft off of each other. I mean, we weren't in a pace line all day. We were casual. It was fun. We kept a good steady pace. We did work off of each other, but if you have the ability to go out with a buddy and do it, I would absolutely advise that, because we don't know what the weather's going to be like, and you may need that person to use them as a wind block and for safety's sake. So unless you're an extremely experienced rider and want to just go out and pound the wind yourself. So, but we had fun. So, all right. Moving on. Website. So we got a lot of really good resources, and I'm going to pass it to Hayden here in a minute to talk about logistics and things like that. But what I want to I know I've touched on this before, but I want to touch on it again. There's a lot of really good information on the website. There's a lot that, if you go to the frequently asked questions, there's tons of good information in the frequently asked questions. But these are a few key parts that I've pointed out. We do have day by day. You can go day by day on the route page. On the route drop down, and you can see what all the towns have to offer, and each of the pass-through towns and actual town pages are all there. Clickable links, you can go to that. The housing request forms are there. The long-term parking, all the links go to where you need to do, where you need information, and then obviously, under the logistics tab, there's a lot of really good information on there too. Like I said, long-term parking for Ottawa and Dubuque. If you haven't lined that up yet, they have their forms up on there. There's a lot of really good information, and this is where Hayden's going to go a little bit deeper into it. But you'll have your, your charters, which way the buses are taking you if you sign up with one of them. Mr. Car Shipper, all these things that Hayden will probably dive into. But as he goes through it, he'll go through it probably pretty quick. You can go back to this page, and it's a great resource for you. So on to you, Hayden.
Thanks, Corey. And shout out to Corey for designing the website and making sure it all works effectively. That's a big lift on his end, and we really appreciate making those logistics easier. And I think probably the most popular question we get with RAGBRAI is, how do I get my car from the start to the end town, or vice versa? Or how do I get to the start town and get home? So there's a few different options. The first one we want to really point your eye to is Mr. Car Shipper. This was a partnership we started last year for the first time and tested out. And from what we heard, there were a lot of really good testimonials with their experiences through the week for those that did use it. So essentially, you will bring your car to the start town in Ottawa this year and check in with Mr. Car Shipper if you purchase that service ahead of time. As Corey mentioned, all that information can be found on the RAGBRAI logistics page, and it has direct links in there for you to take you exactly where you need to go. They've got a website online with frequently asked questions and kind of how that runs in more detail, and a form you can fill out directly there as well. So if this is something you're interested in, you'll sign up beforehand. When you roll into town in Ottawa, you'll hand your keys off to Mr. Car Shipper, and they'll make sure that you're parked in a safe and secure lot that we set up with the town beforehand. And then you go on your way and you enjoy RAGBRAI. You don't have to worry about your car. You don't have to worry about any logistics. As Carson mentioned, we want this to be the best vacation for you. And I know when I go on vacation, I kind of want to shut my brain off and not have to worry about anything until I got to go home. And this is what Mr. Car Shipper allows you to do. They'll really take care of your vehicle. They'll load it up on a trailer, as you can see here, during the week. And while you're enjoying your days, hitting gravel routes or challenging yourself on a 250 loop, or maybe just taking the easy way into town, and no RAGBRAI is easy, but taking the most direct way into town and enjoying the festivities along the way, Mr. Car Shipper will be working behind the scenes to transport your car from the start to end town. And when you arrive in Dubuque on Saturday, it'll be waiting for you again in a designated lot that we set with Dubuque, where Mr. Car Shipper drops it off. You'll check in with them, they'll hand you your keys, and you'll be on your way. So it's a really good service. Like we said, those that used it last year had a lot of really positive testimonials, and we're really excited to have them back this year. They're a great company to work with, and hope a lot of you take advantage of that option. Next slide, please. I was gonna touch on charter shuttles real quick. I might have lost my slide here, but before I introduce Joel, charter shuttles is another option in order to make sure that you've got transportation to and from the start or end town. So again, those options can be found on the RAGBRAI logistics page. We have all the charters that we partner with there that offer different transportation services, whether it's to the start town, from the end town to the start town, or a major metropolitan area that you might be close to. We've got some out of St. Louis, we've got some out of Des Moines, we've got some out of Wisconsin, we've got some out of Omaha. If you're flying into an airport and you don't know how you're quite going to get from that airport to the start town, we've got charters that offer services from local airports that can get you there. So a lot of different options, and really can customize it based on what you need and what you're looking for. Pretty much everyone can find something that'll work for them well, one way or another. So if you pop over to those logistics pages, you'll be able to find all that information, and there's all sorts of different options, whether it's being with that charter for the whole week, or maybe you just need transportation on one end or the other, not even both. So it can really be customizable based on what you need, and is a great option to look into as well when you're looking at logistics of how to get to and from RAGBRAI. And with that, I'll pass it over to another logistic option with Joel from SendMyGear, and he'll be able to talk through the options and services they provide.
Thanks, Hayden. Yeah, I'm Joel with SendMyGear. We're really excited to be back with RAGBRAI for another great ride. So we're excited to be providing bike, luggage, and camp gear shipping services for RAGBRAIers. So next slide, please, Carson. So yeah, just kind of a quick overview of what we offer. You can ship either round trip, one way, or even return shipping of bikes, camp gear, and luggage through our website. You can additionally pick your bike up ready to ride, have it packed for the return shipment, and we will transport your bike box or case throughout the ride. And sometimes, if you don't mind, next slide, Carson, sometimes a video is worth more than 1,000 words, so figured we'd just give a quick demo of how easy it is to use it. This is on the RAGBRAI site. All you have to do is enter your address, select what you're shipping. You can select round trip or one way. Select an insurance amount if you desire. Give your package a description, and then get a rate for the service. So pretty easy to use. There's a lot of details on this page, but always we recommend, if you do have any additional questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. We pride ourselves in getting back to our customers quickly. So next page, just a quick couple guidelines on the process of how it works. If you are going to have a bike shop pack your bike, it's always good to have accurate dimensions. So once they pack it, just have them send you the dimensions and weight, and you can get your email on our page and email it to them. They can drop it off or have it picked up at their local shipper. If you want to pack it yourself, we always recommend that you can never go overboard with too much packing material. So helps prevent your bike from moving around during transport. you can pick it up in Ottawa, ready to ride. So we also offer luggage shipping services. This is as easy as attaching a label to your suitcase. So if you have a luggage tag or even a sturdy piece of cardboard, it's an easy way to zip tie it to your luggage or camp gear, and send it on its way. So you don't always need a box if you're just going to ship some luggage. In this case, one call out is that we're working with Pork Belly Ventures throughout the logistics process. So you can just pick up your luggage with them in Ottawa. And then next slide, return shipping. If you just want to ship your bike or gear from any stop along the route, just let us know. We always recommend booking it in advance, but super easy, and we have links on the site to do it. And yeah, so we're super excited to be back again another year with the RAGBRAI crew. We had a blast last year, so this is year 2 for us. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and we have a whole lot of details on our page. So looking forward to hearing from you, and let us know how we can help.
Thank you, Joel. Like he said, make sure to check out their website and reach out to them with any questions. It obviously makes getting your bike to the starting or shipping at home a lot easier. So we're happy to use their services. But the next slide is there's Hayden's charter slide he was talking about. So there it is. But also I wanted to highlight the monthly newsletter. As we get closer to the ride, there's just a ton of really good information on it. We send out stuff and hot tips and blog posts, and we talk about the 250 loop, and we just want you guys to be able to sign up and check all that stuff out. We're also going to post this town hall on our website and Facebook, so you guys can see it whenever you'd like. Every single town hall is going to have better information because RAGBRAI is 2 months away and we are pumped up. So it's going to be a good year. But I do have a few questions from registration. I just kind of want to make sure we get answered and touch base with the team. So one of them is, how much cash should they carry? I think this could be a good one for Corey. Corey, what do you think?
You go to the guy that never carries cash. Good plan.
You seem like a cash guy. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, all right. Or ask Hayden. I never carry my company card with me either. No, it's been a while since I've obviously ridden the ride, so I'm sure it's all changed since back in the day when I did ride. But I used to allow myself like $35 to $50 a day and have $35 to $50 cash on me. Now, I'm sure that's probably gone up a little bit, but I would only put that amount of cash in my pocket or, in my kit with me that day and ride with me. So that way I had a way of rationing myself the whole entire week so I didn't overspend. The team will also say I like to eat a lot. So that was a good way for me to ration how much stupid food I bought. Not good food, stupid food. So I would say that if you plan, obviously Expo is a little different scenario. I mean, you're not riding that day. There's all sorts of really cool things that you're going to see and want to purchase. And then after the ride, there's always the option of whatever you didn't spend for the week, spend it before you go home. But that would be my recommendation. Anybody else want to chime in and tell me if that's what you're thinking?
I want to chime in and say to be sure that you bring small bills at the start of the ride. Remember that we will be riding on Sunday as our first day of biking and no banks are open on that day. So you'll be able to hit an ATM and get a 20, but then every other rider's also done that and the poor vendors don't have any ones left. So bring some small bills at the start of the ride.
Yeah, we've talked to some vendors or some towns this year too, and we all know how service gets on the ride. So a lot of them will prefer cash. So just always make sure you have small bills and cash ready to go. So it'll be great. But a lot of the questions we got were really about the loop, the America 250 loop. People are really excited. So kind of like what Matt already touched on, but if you do the Karis loop and the 250 loop, you get the patches, correct, Matt?
That is correct. Yep, you'll get both.
Yep. So you don't have to worry about doing the 100-mile loop and then on top of that, the other loop. So it's all the same patch. So it's going to be great. And we're going to keep releasing more information about that as we get closer to get people really pumped up for it. We have a good campground question because they were on their campground trip this week to all the overnight towns. Hayden, this one's for you. What are some shower options for first-time riders, and is it going to be easy to shower after those long, hot days?
Yeah, so Matt, Corey, myself, and a whole gang of yahoos, I like to call them, we're traveling Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to all the overnight towns this week, looking at shower options and where they can hook up and where they can drain their gray water and where is the best spot for them to be located in order to make sure that we have maximum coverage around the campground. So if you're in the main campground, you'll be able to use Joe's Wet Shack. He's always going to be there. He'll have 3 shower trailers available for you. And the other thing to look at is the local showers. So a lot of times the schools or the YMCAs or the pool, anywhere that really has shower options will open up for you. So depending on where you end up in town, whether you're part of a team or a charter, or you're just in the main campground, or maybe you're in the quiet campground, there should be showers options all around for you. And if there aren't showers, you're probably within a couple-minute walk or just a quick shuttle hop away. So there will be shower options anywhere in town that you'll be able to find pretty easily, and those will be labeled on the map, and they should have some pretty good signage pointing you in that direction as well.
Thank you, Hayden. Another really common question I get on these registrations is talking about support vehicles, which we just got a chat about that. So good timing. It's just how important it is to register your support vehicle, and how will that route look like every single day for support vehicles to make it easier for them to find their rider. I think that's a good one, maybe for Matt.
Yeah, perfect. So with a bike route, we create a full detailed support route. We try to keep those routes completely separated so you're not overlapping bikes with vehicles. So they're on bigger roads normally. Each overnight town will have a check-in location. So if you're not familiar with the town or where you're going, you'll be able to pull off the main road, pull into a staging area, talk to a local, get a map, learn where you're going next, and be able to find your spot safely. Every week we travel, we tell our riders, or sorry, our towns kind of where we're at from a support vehicle standpoint and a rider standpoint. We have a goal of 1,325 vehicles, from a standard vehicle, which is a car, all the way up to a semi in these communities. We look at the smallest town on route, which is Guthrie Center, and we know that we cannot have more than 1,300 total vehicles in this town. It would basically cripple it because there's not enough spots to park. So we do cap it. We're talking to Erica a little bit today that, we're starting to sell out on some passes, so we'll shift some numbers around a little bit, but we kind of look at where should everybody be going. So we have RV spots, we have spots for smaller vehicles, we have spots for box trucks. A lot of the camping areas have areas where they can park vehicles and then walk to their campsite, but it's truly one of those things. Along with bandit riders, the bandit vehicles show up too, and we're not accounting for them. So we want to make sure we don't overwhelm these communities. So please register your vehicle so you can let us know that it is coming, and then it helps us kind of find spots in these communities to park you guys. So in the mornings, it is a little bit of chaos when everybody's trying to come in and get their spots. The town is always scrambling to get you in the spot as easily as possible, but make sure you use the check-in points, ask good questions, listen to where they want to send you, and then take the map so you know where you're going, but definitely stay in line and don't get out of your lane.
Yes, thank you, Matt. Tonight, there's been a lot of really great information we've thrown at you guys. We are super excited, like we said, and we want to make sure RAGBRAI is easy and as fun as possible because we know it's your vacation, and there's some great logistics in place, and we have some great things planned for you guys this year. So we're super excited. In 2 weeks, our team will go on pre-ride, which we will ride the ride just like you guys will. And so our June 11th town hall, we will really dive into that and what it was like and get you guys really excited. So we hope to see everybody back for that June 11th town hall and keep everybody posted. But for now, that's all we have tonight. And if you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to any of us. We're happy to help. And we appreciate your guys' support. And we will see you guys next time. So thanks, everybody.